Winds here on Red Mountain topping 40 miles per hour during the early morning hours on Saturday with snow and cold freezing temperatures over the weekend. It was back to 70 degrees today. But with that harsh cold and freezing temperatures, we had parts of the area that dipped well below freezing down into the low 20s yesterday, including Chilton County. I want to show you this photo. This comes in from Chilton County, and according to our weather watcher Justin Gentry, the Chilton Research and Extension Center, they were checking on the peach trees after the hard freeze that we had yesterday morning, and Justin noted that the trees did well during the hard freeze, and they are expecting a good crop overall as long as everything goes smoothly moving ahead. But we can always end up with more freezing temperatures. Always say try to plant after Good Friday, but of course there in Chilton County, those trees are, especially this time of the year with already a lot of tender vegetation in bloom already. Can't help it. You know, those trees started really starting to bloom out, and we've got the freezing conditions already happening. We've had some unseasonable warmth over the past couple of weeks around the area. Tree pollen levels going up. Temperatures right now in the 60s. Gadsden at 63 degrees. We're back on daylight saving time. So sunset at 6:54 as we look across the state. Tuscaloosa, no rain, but you can see those clouds thickening up there at 66 degrees. The next big thing for us is a good chance of wet weather. It is coming back tomorrow. We'll start to see some rain building in. Now, if you look at the regional radar view, there's some rain back over Mississippi that won't quite reach us tonight. I think we stay dry here through the overnight hours, but that rain will be coming back by tomorrow afternoon. Here's a look at the temperatures through this evening. 61 there at 7 o'clock, cooling off into the 50s. I'm not concerned about freezing temperatures for tonight. It looks like those temperatures will stay well above freezing. There's 10 p.m., 54 degrees, and then it looks like for our Tuesday tomorrow, starting off in the 40s for most areas, and by the afternoon the rain comes back. May have a few storms. Not expecting severe weather for us, but there could be some hail producers out there. There's a look at temperatures at the moment, again showing 60s across the state. There is a risk for severe weather. We're watching what's happening back to the west. There are severe thunderstorm warnings. That's a tornado warning right there across northern Texas. You can see these storms over the past hour just exploding in development here around the Dallas area. This is a severe thunderstorm watch that extends back over towards places like Clarksville and Tyler, Texas, and areas like that. This will eventually form, it looks like, into a line, and really kind of a very intense line of storms and kind of a Boeing segment. See right there, almost a what we call a mesoscale convective system almost, that's going to kind of track there towards the south, towards the Gulf Coast, and that's where we could end up with some damaging wind gusts, some severe weather to the south. We get a lot of the rain out of this, starts to fill in by lunchtime tomorrow and into the afternoon. So you get out ahead of this tomorrow morning, you may be able to wrap up some outdoor projects before the rain really sets in, but get out there early, because that rain can start as early as mid to late morning. But rain returns, a few storms possible, could be some small hail, no organized severe weather at least expected. And of course, we'll talk more about the 7-day and go beyond the 7-day here coming up in a few moments. But as you know, WBRC Fox 6 meteorologist Lauren Linehan joining us right now. And you know, Lauren, I was going to say this is a special day. We recognize Dress for STEM, and you're going to tell us what that means. But we know Pat Gray, she was such a pioneer in this area when it comes to broadcasting, covered the weather here for years at WBRC Fox 6, just going back to some WBRC history in this area. But tell us what Dress for STEM is all about.
Hey Wes, yeah, Dress for STEM is a great grassroots movement that was started about 8 years ago. And this was started actually by a group of female broadcast meteorologists. And the idea was on Pi Day, March 14th, to wear a certain color, and we all went with purple, to try to highlight and bring awareness to the fact that there is a significant underrepresentation of women in STEM fields. And that's the fields of science, technology, engineering, and math. So women make up nearly half of the workforce, but if you look specifically at STEM careers, only 27% of women are actually in STEM careers. So the rest of that is actually made up by males. So like we said, there's a huge underrepresentation of women in STEM fields. And when you look actually at on-air broadcasting, when it comes to science positions, men outpace women in on-screen STEM career roles from about 7 to 1. So when you look at broadcast meteorology as a whole, a lot of broadcast meteorologists end up being male, but we are beginning to see as time goes on that more women are feeling that confidence to get involved with STEM skills. And of course, you definitely see on air that there are lots of women represented in the news industry, but there are less women that are going to be represented in the path of broadcast meteorology. And that all kind of goes back to the fact that in school, a lot of women are not choosing those STEM majors. They're not getting degrees in science, technology, engineering, and math. Some are, but it's a great underrepresentation. And if we look at female meteorologists specifically, 29% the percentage of women who hold positions as broadcast meteorologists. So almost a good 70% of positions on air are held by men in terms of meteorology. And then in terms of chief meteorologists, if we look across the country, across the U.S., only 8% of women hold those titles. So we are beginning to see some changes in the industry, but we're not just talking about broadcasting. We're talking about STEM fields in general. And so women all across the country and our male allies as well have been wearing purple today to start that conversation, spark how we can get young women more interested in STEM fields and to not be afraid. I mean, I know, Wes, when I was studying meteorology, I was originally a theater major, but was so intimidated by the math. It was like, I just can't do the math. That's too much. And so eventually you just have to conquer that fear. But this is a day that we can encourage young women. You know, it's okay to be intimidated. It's okay to be a nerd as well.
Well, and another thing while we're on this topic, Lauren, you know, a lot of people think that there are just broadcast meteorologists, but there's all kinds of fields of meteorology you can go into.
That's so true. I mean, we have meteorologists with the National Weather Service who are women, and you also have women who work for NASA. If you think about astronauts who go in space, you've got astronauts, but you also have women who are engineers behind the scene who helped to get the rover on Mars recently. So there are lots of behind the scenes jobs. If you don't feel comfortable being on air, we still encourage young women to look into those STEM fields because there are lots of opportunities. And we have found research that more women, when they are involved in the workforce in these fields, you can see more creativity and it just provides more balance. So why not support that?
All right, thanks a lot, Lauren. We're going to be talking more, and if you ever have any questions, you can always email our weather team any questions about wanting to become a meteorologist. Lauren, text or email Lauren, Jill, myself, and we'll certainly follow up with you. You can also find us on Facebook and social media if you have any questions about wanting to become a meteorologist. All right, first alert, high temperatures over the next several days. We've got temperatures tomorrow and into Wednesday a little bit cooler because of that rain coming back, and then Thursday, notice they're up to 75 degrees. You're planning a big gathering for St. Patrick's Day. It looks like a nice day on Thursday. It looks like that's kind of an in-between period between a couple of systems that we're tracking for this week. I'll have the full 7-day forecast coming up. Here's what's ahead here on First Alert Weather Extra. Matt's going to give us an update on the lake levels out there. Getting warmer. We're going to have some more warm temperatures, so you may be thinking about heading out to the lake. We'll talk about that. Prepping the yard for springtime, and we go beyond the 7-day. High-tech snowmaking machines. Yeah, we'll check that out. That's all coming up on First Alert Weather Extra. Stay with us. The Next Big Thing gives you a heads up days ahead of the next big storm system. The Next 24 gives you the most accurate and updated look at tomorrow. And the Next 60 gives you a 60-minute advantage against Mother Nature. Knowing what's next, days, hours, or minutes away, this is why we First Alert.
When we declare First Alert Weather Day, it's all hands on deck. We're on your side and in your hand with the First Alert Weather app. While Wes and the rest of the team track changes moment to moment, the app keeps you prepared and safe with video and alerts for your neighborhood. And if the power goes out, no worries, you can stream us anywhere. It's easy and it's always on. Stay ahead of Alabama weather. Just scan and tap and have the First Alert Weather app. This is why we First Alert.
On Good Day Alabama, we treat severe weather with the highest priority. It's more than just meteorologists. Everyone plays a part. Having more reporters in more places takes you beyond the First Alert, showing you the impact that we see on radar. We're live in your neighborhood when you need us. On air, online, and on the app. That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
Our lives revolve around planning for what's next, like the next ball game.
One hot dog with ketchup? It's the same with weather. That's why we're on your side with the next big thing, the next 60 and the next 24. Knowing what's next, days, hours, or minutes away.
This is why we first alert. Who puts ketchup on a hot dog?
Getting live breaking news and local updates has never been easier. That's because we're on your side with the WBRC streaming app. Need updates between newscasts? You can catch up quick here. And when we're live on TV, we're live here too. Just search WBRC on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. WBRC Fox 6 News is on your side.
Well, did you see the snow over the weekend? We had a lot of photos that were shared with us. This one from Tuscumbia, that was Sherry sharing a photo. I wanted to go through and show you some of these. A lot of it happening during the early morning. We had some snow on Red Mountain. That was the view from Rick Freeman. You can see some of the higher terrain. That's in northern Calhoun County right there around Duggar Mountain. And we figured we'd see more snow in some of those higher terrains, higher areas. There's Dina sharing a photo. That was from Jasper. And some locations out there look like about a 1/4 inch of snow. Look at that on the patio there. But she's a sweetheart. Let's see, that's April. That's the McMasters and Johnson snow day that they had there Saturday morning. I love snow. So a lot of folks out there all excited about the snow, and that was Martha sharing that. But wanted to go through, we had so many snow photos that were shared with us, and we certainly thank you for sharing those on the First Alert Weather app. And we've had some sunshine photos to share for today. Maybe you're thinking about getting out on the lake later on this week. Let's check in with Matt Daniel for a look at the lake levels and forecast.
Hope you had a wonderful Monday, and as we go into tomorrow, maybe you want to go out on the lakes. Of course, we're going to have some rain, but we have had recent rainfall over the weekend along with that snow that fell Friday night and Saturday morning. So here's a look at those pool levels at Lake Tuscaloosa. Still looking about almost 6 feet below that full pool, so could use a little bit more rain to sort of make it back to normal. But with Smith Lake, pretty much near normal. They're looking pretty good at Smith Lake. At Lay Lake, almost 1/2 foot below the full pool. And we're looking at 4 feet below full pool at Lake Martin, and at Lake Logan, say this 5 times fast, Lake Logan Martin, about 5 feet below full pool, and almost 1.5 feet at Neely Henry Lake, and at Weiss Lake about 2 feet below full pool. So we could use a little bit of rain, and tomorrow should help us out with those lake levels. Let's talk about the lake forecast as we go into the next 2 days. And as you can see, going into tomorrow and a Wednesday, here at Lake Tuscaloosa, rain looking very likely, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, temperatures in the mid-60s, and we could see some showers Wednesday, but I think the greatest chance for rain could end up in East Alabama, so maybe a 40% chance for rain going into then. And then as we look up towards the north in Smith Lake, a good chance for some showers as we go into Tuesday, especially for the latter half of the day, looking at mid-60s, and another chance for rain going into Wednesday, and easterly winds right around 5 to 10 miles per hour. As we move down towards Lay Lake, we're seeing a good chance for rain Tuesday with some lingering showers and storms as well on Wednesday. So like I said, it's going to be a wet couple of days, and that should help those lake levels go up just a little bit. And then as we take a look at Lake Martin, 65 degrees Tuesday, 64 on Wednesday, rain chance right around 70 to 80%. So looking pretty wet for the next several days. A few more lakes to show you. Lake Logan Martin, 66 degrees Tuesday, 60% chance for rain, and most of that rain's really going to move in the latter half of tomorrow. And then Wednesday, we're looking at some lower 60s with a 60% chance for rain. And you'll notice the farther north and east we go, especially as we go into Wednesday, temperatures will trend a little bit cooler. So at Neely Henry Lake, we're looking at mid-upper 60s Tuesday, lower 60s Wednesday with a better chance for rain as that low spins away, producing some showers across our eastern counties. And then in Weiss Lake, 66 for a high Tuesday, with the bulk of that rain probably moving in tomorrow evening and tomorrow night, as well into Wednesday. 70% chance for rain. Easterly winds continuing at 5 to 10 miles per hour with a high Wednesday at 62 degrees.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. I retweeted this earlier today. This was from the National Weather Service Atlanta. You remember the SEC championship basketball game? I believe Alabama was playing and a tornado struck in the Atlanta area, and you could actually see inside the Georgia Dome. You could see a lot of the roof was actually shaking because of those strong winds that had impacted the Georgia Dome. Well, that was when the night we had the tornado that struck Atlanta. It was an EF2. It traveled 6.25 miles through the city, damaging numerous buildings, and it interrupted the SEC basketball championship. But remember that night, that's what it looked like there on the radar. But just some weather history for you on this date. That was in 2008. So, we're counting down here to at least the official start of springtime. We've already talked about some plants blooming already. I want to check in with meteorologist Fred Hunter, has some tips on getting that yard ready for the springtime.
Well, we're here in Bessemer today at Thrasher Feed and Game Nutrition's, talking with Trey Thrasher. This is the time when folks are really getting a little bit of spring fever, wanting to get out early, but as far as our yards, we need to do some prep work, because I heard somebody say earlier this week they saw their first mosquitoes, so we got to get out ahead of those insects.
Absolutely. With the crazy weather we have in Alabama, you really need to get on top of your fleas, your ticks and ants and all that in your yard. One product we carry is 7 granules. You can put that out, and that'll help keep control of the pests that you're going to get later in the summer.
Now, and you also have the knockout as well.
Yes, sir.
That's useful as well.
Yes, sir. It does the exact same thing. It's a great price, so it works good.
Okay, but a lot of folks now are wanting maybe this weekend to get out, work in their yard, work in their gardens, get things planted. People sometimes get ahead of the curve a little bit. Absolutely. Because, as you said, crazy weather. We can still have some cold weather. I know Easter comes late, which means Good Friday comes late, yes, but there are some things you can be planting now.
Yeah, exactly. Right now you can be planting like some collards, cabbage, turnips, some mustard, some lettuce and stuff like that. And then later in the year, when it's going to be for sure warm, you can plant your tomatoes, squash, cucumbers, peppers, and stuff like that.
But the greens, the cold weather, if we have some more cold weather, it's not going to bother them.
It's not going to hurt them.
Okay.
They'll be ready to go.
All right, and Trey, you have not just this location, but the other 2 as well. Talk about where people can come see you.
Yes, sir. We have this location here in Bessemer. We also have a location in Woodstock, Alabama, and our 3rd location is in Summerton, Alabama.
Okay, so you can go to Woodstock, go to Walker County, or come here to Bessemer and check out everything there is to know about spring planting and also weed and pest control at Thrasher Feed and Game Nutrition's.
All right, thanks a lot there, Fred, and hopefully your plants survive the cold weather over the weekend. We're warming up now. We've got the next rainmaker on the way. I'll be back to track that for you, show you when to be on the lookout for rain tomorrow as we continue right here on First Alert Weather Extra.
Every morning on Good Day Alabama, we know the news that matters the most to you is the news that hits closest to home.
And we know that to tell the best story means going to where the story is. That's why having more reporters in more places is so essential.
Giving you more local stories that impact your family, your school, and your safety.
On air, online, and on the app.
That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
I hear from people all the time with questions about healthcare, their insurance, and the safety of certain treatments. I'm Morgan Hightower, and I investigate these stories because if I were being taken advantage of, or if my family couldn't get the help they needed, I would want to know how to take action. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side, getting answers, keeping you informed and safe. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
Get pinpoint locations down to your street level on the First Alert Weather app. You can download by searching WBRC in your app store. That's accuracy you can plan on.
I hear from people all the time having problems with their landlord or worry about being ripped off by a bad business. I'm Josh Gann, and I investigate stories like these because if I had questions about protecting my finances or how to save more money, I would want the best advice available. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side, getting answers, keeping you informed and safe. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
Get First Alert weather and breaking news. Follow us on Twitter. Search at WBRC News.
Get First Alert weather and breaking news. Follow us on Facebook. Search at WBRC News.
Well, rain coming back tomorrow, and then the wet weather's with us through Wednesday morning. Looks like the rain breaks off just in time for St. Patrick's Day. If you have some evening plans, Friday, wet weather comes back early in the day. Leaves just in time for the weekend. Saturday and Sunday looking dry for now. Temperatures warming up close to 70 by Sunday afternoon. And then on Monday looks dry, and just beyond the 7-day around Tuesday, there's a system we're watching. We're going to check in with Jill with more on that here coming up. First alert though for some changes tonight. The sunset time at 6:54 now. We're back on daylight saving time. This is a time lapse over the Magic City, and you can see those clouds moving back in. Some mid to lower level clouds in the atmosphere building in back across Alabama, and some of these will start to produce some rain by lunchtime tomorrow. Right now it's 61 in Coleman at the time of this update, and we are live, by the way, right now with the First Alert Weather Extra. So the temperatures out there reflective of these 6:51 conditions across the area at the moment. As we look at the next 24 hours, that rain comes in, looks like by late morning tomorrow. This is some of the latest data. 9 o'clock tonight, you see the model shows a couple of sprinkles back in here, but the dew points are still very low, down in the 20s, so it's going to take a while for the atmosphere to moisten up. So as some of this rain starts to try to build in here, most of it's just going to evaporate. Notice around 6 o'clock in the morning, still dry. So if you get out there early tomorrow, you're trying to finish up an outdoor project, maybe do a little painting, you get out there early, you may get out ahead of some of this rain that starts to move in. Some data suggests by mid-morning we could start to see some wet weather in here across West Alabama, but here it comes. And what we're looking at is a cut-off upper-level low-pressure system. It's cut off from the mean flow, so it's going to slow down, and it's going to take it a couple days to make its way across Alabama. It wouldn't surprise me if we saw some new data that showed some of those clouds and maybe a small chance of rain lingering into Thursday. That's one thing we'll need to watch out for. Sometimes you get these systems in here, they're hard to move out, but looking at the setup, you can see it kind of takes it a while to build in tomorrow. It just sits back to the west and spins, and then we start to get the rain that moves in by the afternoon. And with a setup like this, what we typically see is a lot of cold air in the upper portions of the atmosphere, and even if you have some small cells, some storms, some heavier downpours that develop, many times we can see reports of very small hailstones, even if you don't have a lot of thunder with some of these pockets of rain. So that wouldn't surprise me during the afternoon and the evening if we had some of those reports. But the risk for severe weather, that's going to stay south of us, it looks like. And you can see those temperatures there in the 50s showing up here on the models. But if the rain holds off until early afternoon, we could see low 60s for highs. So the rain and the clouds will certainly have an impact on temperatures. Notice there into Wednesday morning, that wet weather is still around. It takes a little while to move out. And then just in time for St. Patrick's Day, we still expect some improvements with highs in the 70s. Yes, warm 70-degree temperatures on the way for Thursday. Friday looks like the greatest chance of rain happens early in the day, and the weekend's looking dry right now for Saturday and Sunday. Not a bad weekend, but Jill joins us right now. And Jill, we were talking earlier about a system we're watching on Tuesday. Could be one we need to watch with respect to a threat of severe weather.
Yeah, certainly stood out to me. I'm looking at the data and I'm seeing a lot of wind energy. So that first caught my eye, and I did post about it on my fan page. So we're going to be watching next Tuesday/Wednesday, which is my birthday. So hopefully it happens, not on my birthday. But no, we're hoping it doesn't happen at all, right? We're going to be seeing, again, a batch of storms. Now, it's too early to know whether or not, where this setup could actually take place, but there is indication from both long-range models that there's something around the 22nd, 23rd. Now, as we take a look at the wind energy, which we look at, and the storm fuel, again, this is the GFS model. It is indicating as we get into especially the 23rd that we'll see a spike in that instability with the combination of wind shear. So we look for all these things combined, and that could indicate the possibility of severe weather. So it's just something to watch, to put on your calendar, to be mindful of. Again, we're going to be monitoring things very closely for you, and of course keeping you updated on all platforms. So for right now, looking beyond the 7-day, we have our eyes, Wes, on the 22nd, 23rd. Hopefully it just fizzles out.
Hopefully so, Jill, and you did an incredible job with that snowmaker that we were tracking Friday night. You know, you were sharing a lot of the long-range data, and I'll tell you what, some of the strongest wind gusts here on Red Mountain that I've seen around here. It was quite windy there through the early morning on Saturday, but you look at this forecast, and I know we were talking with Fred a few moments ago about planting. You can see the temperatures at night stay well above freezing. But speaking of snow, we're going to show you some high-tech snowmaking coming up right here after the break. Stay with us. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra.
Getting live breaking news and local updates has never been easier. That's because we're on your side with the WBRC streaming app. Need updates between newscasts? You can catch up quick here. And when we're live on TV, we're live here too, giving you more ways to get caught up with everything happening where you live. Plus, exclusive videos from your First Alert weather team. It's easy to use and it's free. Just search WBRC on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. WBRC Fox 6 News is on your side.
You've got enough to worry about every day. That's why the First Alert weather team is on your side, so you can plan with confidence and take the worry out of weather. With exclusive First Alert AccuTrack, we pinpoint storms before they arrive. And with Weather Every 6, you are always informed. Alabama's weather changes fast, but we're working even faster, updating and alerting you first. We know your plans are important. This is why we First Alert.
Every morning on Good Day Alabama, we're on your side, trying to get you where you're going safely. First Alert Traffic updates you on slowdowns and gives you alternate routes. Having more reporters covering the roads you drive on gives you even more info to help you know more about why it happened and when it will be cleared. On air, online, and on the app. That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
I get calls and emails all the time from people wanting to know how cities, counties, and the state are spending their tax dollars. I'm Jennifer Horton, and I investigate how your tax dollars are being used because I don't want your money or mine wasted or fraudulently spent by politicians in power. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side, following the paper trail, asking the tough questions, and giving you the facts. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
Well, with extreme drought conditions impacting the western part of the country, we want to show you some interesting ways ski resorts are making snow in order to combat the drought conditions.
With unpredictable weather and more dry days than snowy ones, ski resorts like North Star that rely on snowmaking to stay open as long as possible are looking toward more efficient ways to keep their industry alive.
We don't want to use more energy. We want to reduce our energy consumption. And so that's a big one too when we think about our future and sustainability and how we're going to move forward.
Shannon Bueller is in charge of mountain operations at North Star, which includes overseeing the nearly 300 different snowmaking devices they use.
We have about 50 fan guns at our resort, and we have about another 250 air water guns.
Traditional air water guns require an employee to manually turn them on, but fan guns are a newer, more efficient technology that uses less energy, no manual labor, and makes more snow that's better quality. All important considering they never know how much snow they'll need.
It all depends on the year. There are years where we make snow all the way into April, and then there are years that we make snow first week of January and we're done.
Snowmaking first started at ski resorts about 70 years ago, but a lot has changed as weather has become more unpredictable, and the need to make more snow more efficiently has become more important.
Climate change is absolutely a thing that we're talking about, and temperatures have changed, and you see all this data about how many more days it's been warmer on average.
Shannon says building a strong snowpack in a more efficient way is something they work on throughout the year as they look to keep this mountain open to guests just as long as they possibly can.
All of our summer projects and maintenance projects are all about how can we ensure we have a winter next year and that people can come skiing.
At North Star, Kristen Samos, KCRA 3 News.
All right, rain coming back tomorrow. Expect that wet weather by the afternoon. Possibility of some storms this weekend. Looks nice. Saturday and Sunday, some dry weather. Hopefully that trend in the forecast data continues. We'll talk a lot more about that system we're tracking for tomorrow. Tonight, we'll have radar updates and more coming up at 9, 9:30, and 10. Be sure to join us on WBRC Fox 6 News. Thanks for tuning in to First